Question number 9 is about Jorge or George recording the scores of 120 goals, and he started to draw the pie chart to show the results. All he's done is put Simon in there so far, so he didn't get very far with his pie chart. The first part of the question, A, asks us how many goals Simon scored. Well, you should be looking at this going, well, that is a quarter of the pie. So he scored a quarter of the goals. So you need to be thinking of 1/4 of 120. You could do that without a calculator very simply. It could easily be a non-calculator paper question, but let's use a calculator because we've got one. 1/4 is 1 divided by 4, and then we're going to multiply that by 120, and that gives us 30. You could look at it as going 120 divided by 4 would give you 30. It's the same thing. So Simon scored 30 goals. Let's remember that for the next part of the question. B, the table shows the other players who scored goals. Wayne, who must be very good, has scored 48 goals, and his angle of the sector of the pie is 144 degrees. Now, we could use Wayne's information here because we've got both things to work out how many degrees it is per goal. You could use the total number of degrees in a pie chart and divide it by the number of goals. So I'm gonna use that. I'm going to use the 360 degrees because that's more common. That's what you're going to get most of the time. You know that 360 degrees is a whole circle. You can divide it by the number of goals that were scored. Okay, that is a calculation that you need to do to work out the degrees per goal. If you look at degrees, it's on top. The line, think of it as the word per, and then goals as the other units in this particular question. So if you do that, you're going to get 3, but you're allowed the calculator to just check, and we get the answer of 3. So I'm going to write down 3 on the side here, 3 degrees per goal. Now that's a really useful thing to know, right? It's all about that when it comes to pie charts, how many degrees it is per thing. And again, like I said here, you could have used Wayne's data. 144 divided by 48 would give you the same thing, 3. So we need to take Harry, who's got 5 goals, and we need to multiply that by 3 because that's how many degrees it is per goal, and we're going to get 15 degrees. So Harry's only got 15 degrees of the pie chart. Obi, he's got 72 degrees, so we need to divide 72 by 3. Again, you're allowed your calculator if you want. 72 divided by 3 is going to give you 24, and you're going to then write that down. So that's how many goals Obi scored. And then for Anthony, we've got no information for Anthony, but the goal should add up to 120 and the angle should add up to 360. So I'm going to add up the goals and then check I've got it right by adding up the degrees. So add up the goals. Let's remember that Simon scored 30. So 30 plus 48 plus 5 plus 24, that equals 107. And then 120 is the total number of goals minus the 107 gives us 13 goals. So that's Anthony's number of goals. And if you multiply 13 by 3, you're going to get 39. So 39 is the degrees that represents Anthony's number of goals in this pie chart. And then we have to add up all of the degrees to work out if, or just to check that we've got the right answer. So just to prove to you that it all works, we've got 39 plus 72 plus 15 plus 144 plus Simon's 90 degrees, which is 360. So it all works, and we've got the right numbers in the right places in our table. And that's going to get us 3 marks just completing that table. Now we need to complete the pie chart. So to complete the pie chart, we need to bring in a protractor again. So I've got my protractor, and I'm going to move that onto the diagram, onto the circle. Now, mine actually fits quite nicely. That's quite handy. You can see that we've got a 90-degree angle that's already drawn on there. Now you can start either side. I need to rotate the protractor, and I need to line it up so that it's a little bit awkward because I'm doing it on the computer. I need to line it up so that the center point of the protractor, like when we measured the angle earlier on, is at the vertex of the angle, the very center of the circle. And I just rotate that just a smidgen more, and the 0 lines up with the horizontal line. Okay, now I'm measuring round on the outside here, and I'm going to measure and use a pencil and a ruler, and I'm going to mark wherever I need to mark. So I need to measure 144 to mark Wayne's goal. So I'm going to go all the way around here. 144 is 1, 2, we can zoom in if we need to, which we probably do. So we've got 144, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to mark there. Okay, and then I'm going to draw with a pencil and a ruler from that point all the way back to the center of the circle. And I've drawn on, may well have just drawn on the protractor. Not sure, I don't think I have. Let's have a look. So that should be okay, and then we should be able to move the protractor around without having the line move. Let's have a look. We rotate the protractor. Yeah, that's all good. So now we need to make sure that the protractor, center point of the protractor, lines up. It's a bit nicer when it's zoomed in a bit more, it's much easier. Center point of the protractor, the very center of the circle again. You're going to try and do this as neatly and as accurately as you can possibly do it. Let's move that very, very slightly. 0 lines up with the purple line that I've just drawn, and we're going to mark on here the number of degrees, which is 15 for Harry. Not many, not much of a goal scorer, Harry. Apply that, and then we're going to go and mark on here 15 degrees, so 10, 15. And then again, I'm going to draw my line, goes 15 degrees back to the center. And then that's done. And then I'm going to go and rotate my protractor one more time to get my 72 degrees. And then what should be left over is the 39 degrees, which we can measure. So let's just rotate that again. And just line it up with the 0. Move that to the center there. It's a little bit of a faff doing this, but it is in reality, it's a little bit of a tricky skill. There we go. So we've lined that one up, and I'm going to, on the diagram once again, just mark at 72 degrees where I need to mark 72 degrees. 72 is here, and then I'm going to draw my line. Goes from here, 2 degrees, and then that's all good. And then what's left over is 39 degrees, and I'm pretty confident in saying that because I've done it as accurate as I can. Let's just move the protractor around and measure and just check that it is 39 degrees. So rotate it around again and make it line up with the purple line that I've just drawn. Rotate it back a little bit, and we should be seeing that that is as close to 39 degrees as we can get it. If I can move the tractor to the center there, and just line it up with 0. I'm 1 degree out, I think. It's a little bit awkward. Yeah, there we go. That's lined up perfectly. And I'm not quite in the center, but move it down a little bit. And we can see, yeah, I think I'm 1 degree out, but we get away with that in the exam paper. That's not a problem. Okay, so zooming back out there, I'm going to get pie chart here. Done. Get rid of my protractor. Get that gone. Now these lines that I've gone over here, you don't need to go over the pie chart. Just rub those little bits out, just so it's a bit neater. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see. I'll do that. I've a few bits out. All right, just neaten it up, make it nice. Then I'm going to label it with Wayne and Harry and Obi and the 1 degree out Anthony. I shouldn't have been so confident it was going to be exactly right, but it is pretty difficult to draw, and you can see if you zoom right into the centre, it's a little bit awkward, but that will do. We will get away with that in the exam. It's not going to be too much of a problem. That's how you get all the marks on your pie charts question.